ever wondered why the market always goes against you? Many times after you've bought a share, then share prices started to drop. Is it because that the market doesn't like you? How do we overcome this situation then? M Plus Wiz, which alerts on potential entry for trending stocks, might do the trick for you. Is that all for the Wiz feature? Not at all. To find out more, please visit us at mplusonline.com/wiz.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So it's back to Monday, our M Plus Wiz highlights. And having here, we have Louis Lau, the head of research, that will go through the highlights with you today. So let me share my screen. If you can see my screen, just put in some comments, maybe yes, yeah, maybe put in KLCI 1600. Yeah, okay. So maybe you can look out for some of the highlights in. Wait, can you see my screen right now? Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. So before we start, maybe we'll go through again similar things that we have been going through all this while is to understand what is the market thinking about after our new PM has been sworn in. And bear in mind, this sworn in, I think it should have a good impact towards the whole another half year, or at least another 1.5 years of the stock market. Why is that so? Is because I think political risk has been removed for the time being until election. So when is the election? People might be asking. So then we have to understand from this current point of view until next year itself, are we able to cope with this COVID-19? If we are able to, tone down the COVID-19 towards maybe less than 10,000 or less than 1,000, then certainly by that time, we will be having the election. So the idea of election right now is depending on the COVID-19 cases. So if the COVID-19 cases continue to stay, at a very, very elevated area, we will not have the election so fast. So if that is the case, then our current new PM and the government will continue to hold on the position until the election, which will be anticipated to be next year. So if that is the case, then this whole situation will benefit the Malaysia stock market. So you can see today, although it is not high in terms of the FBN KLCI movements, but at least it is still in a positive tone. So which means that people or market are actually saying that yes, this new PM will be a good sign, and so that's why we started off with a positive note today. But what is interesting is that you can take note of the speech from the new PM. He mentioned that we need to, first of all, hit COVID hard, and we need to recover from this pandemic. And secondly, our economic activities. He put a lot of emphasis on these economic activities. So given that speech, we are likely to see recovery tone to come back to the stock market. But again, value-wise, you can see the trading value is not high. It's just 1.1 billion. So which means that people are slowly and gradually recovering and monitoring what and who is the PM or who is the cabinet that is being appointed by this new PM, and let's see where we will head from this point onwards. So today itself, the best performer is the technology stocks. You can see that technology stocks went up 1.8%. And the next one would be industrial products. So if we click into industrial products, you can see some of the plastic related companies are in, some of the technology sectors, and also some of the metal related companies are in here. So you can roughly say that today's movements are based on these two sectors. And thirdly, you can see the transportation and logistics. So I like transportation and logistics because they are the core of the economy. First of all, if you're talking about shipping industry, we have MISC, Tasco, Harbour, TN Logis, ILB, T-Ocean. And other than that is about the recovery. Airports, maybe aviation, perhaps some of the, all these related companies are there to help the recovery, economic to recover from this point onwards. So these are the three sectors that has been performing. So we have anticipated some of this to happen, and therefore our selection of stocks is based on the idea that what do we think it is a more promising sector to in, and we have put in those stocks under these sectors. So if you take note of the counters that we have put in today, it's very much into technology. We have DNO, ATA IMS, we have MyEG, we have VST, ECS. So these are some of the technology counters that we put in. Other than that, we also put in Hong Seng, the healthcare, because we think it is related to vaccine, it is related to healthcare, so therefore we put in. Success is under the building material segment, and Tongguan is the one is under industrial products, which we have a coverage under BB Plastic. The plastic companies are making a good progress in terms of this quarterly result, despite all this MCO, all this COVID pandemic, but they are still performing well. Why is it so? So we have put in our thoughts, and we have put in our market outlook early on in July that we mentioned also about plastic company being one of a very strong sector in the upcoming quarterly results. So that's why we put in, because of the BB Plastics results last Friday, therefore we have put in Tongguan as to anticipate a good movement in the peers. Okay, and next we have TN Logis. So these are the anticipated sectors and anticipated counters that we put in because they are having the strongest position in the market. So that's why we put in. So overall, if you take note of what has happened today, is more or less in our forecast or prediction, and this is some of the counters that we think, this is some of the sectors that we think it should perform. So that's why we have sort of captured those attention counters for today. Okay, so political link companies, you can actually look into all these active volume counters like AIM. You can see all these are sell on news. Even this ASB is also sell on news that people anticipated. People because of the new PM has been sworn in, and therefore there is a pullback in ASB. That is very clear cut. Destiny, it is up. That is political link, DNAX, IRIS. All these are up due to certain party has been winning, has been getting into the as a government. Okay, so right now, next we will actually monitor who is the cabinet for new government, and then we will get more clarity on what are the stocks that political link that you can actually move into by then. But overall, we have sort of think that today is a sell on news kind of strategy for the for after the new PM has been sworn in, because of people anticipated things to happen early on, and right now since that it has already happened, so people will sell on news. Okay, so before we go into our stock picks and our anticipated highlights about today, make sure you share and like the video. Share it out. If we have viewers more than 200 or even 300, then we will go into the question Q&A section. So if we hit around 200, then we'll have we'll take 5 random questions from the crowd, and if we have more than 300, then we will get 10 questions out of the crowd. So if you want me to share more about the Q&A section later on, so please share out this video so that we can go into the Q&A section, and we review more highlights about the what are the questions that people are asking. Okay, so let's look into our daily picks and how did it perform today. So talking about the tech counters, ATA IMS, at this point of time, it is looking quite positive because it has gap up or has broken above the 279 level this morning, but the volume has not been increasing too much. Again, we are anticipating this to happen as one of the so-called breakout, pullback, and continuation pattern. So it breakout, it pull back towards this level here. It has started to move into a second section here, and hopefully that it will continue to make a good progress above this 280 level. So overall, we are expecting this to continue to happen and continue to trade higher towards at least to retest the 2 ringgit and 91 cents level, and towards our next target around 3 ringgit. Support and cut loss point will be around the 2 ringgit and 68 cents level for ATA IMS. So ATA IMS is also related to EMS. We did understand that in last week itself, ATA IMS made or the EMS players, FPI has made a very good progress. So FPI did sort of a very strong rally after their earnings. So we think that ATA IMS is in the same industry, and therefore it should come out as one of a strong position for ATA IMS. So that is why we put in ATA IMS to see whether the tech counters can continue to lift higher towards a higher position. Okay, so right now it seems like the volume has not been picking up for ATA IMS, but it is okay. But as long as it is still hovering above the 2 ringgit and 68 cents level, I will still take it as one of the good sign to hold on to it. Okay, so next we will be seeing this DNO. DNO we did put in as a daily pick, and also our daily pick, and it has started to trigger higher above. I think at 903, it has triggered here. Then it pulled back, then it continued to trend higher from this 5 ringgit 18 cents level towards 5 ringgit 27 cents. So there are around 9 cents range, but it has seen some pullback after just ahead of lunch, just prior to lunch. So let's see what is going to happen later on. But overall, we are still looking into this as a positive, positive trend for DNO. DNO has been quite strong in terms of their breakouts and pullback and continuation pattern. You can see that it is always being supported around the 5 ringgit level. The breakout happened here. Early on, the resistance was around near to 5 ringgit, but once it has broken out, it pulled back and it continued here. So which means that the genuine buy interest is there, and we should be anticipating further upside from this point towards at least the 5 ringgit and 50 cents level, and even towards 6 ringgit as the next target. Bear in mind, DNO is under LED segment under the tech counters, and this is a very good upcoming trend due to the electric vehicles, and electric vehicles would definitely need more of these LEDs. So the LED content inside the EV electric vehicles will be much higher compared to conventional cars. So that is why DNO is still on an uptrend position, and we shall continue to monitor this counter. So today it has triggered, so let's see whether can it continue to move on higher. So why do we pick MYAG is because last Thursday there is a breakout. It has pulled back on Friday, and today we are anticipating the strength to continue, because MYEG is slightly different compared to political link companies, because MYEG is always being viewed as a government services related company and not so much dependent on what we call the who is the government right now. Who is it? Is it Pakatan Harapan, or is it PN, or whoever it is? If you notice, what happened early on is when it has dropped significantly after this 2018, when Pakatan Harapan has taken over the government. You can see that there is a sell down phase here, but after the sell down phase, it has hit around 60-70 cents level. Then it continued to trend towards 1 ringgit and 70 cents level. So this is a very encouraging move. Okay, encouraging move. And later stage, this is around above 100% return. So in view of the recent, all these events here, the Sheraton move and all this during this period of time, you can see after March, even after 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic, after the change of government and also the COVID-19 pandemic, it has went up from 70 over cents towards 150, and later stage it has went even higher towards, you can see here, which is the 1 ringgit and 50 cents, which is near towards almost 200% return from the lowest point to the highest point. Okay, so the idea right now is, because everyone knew that MYEG has a very strong, solid, structure in terms of their business, and therefore, even whoever is winning to become the new PM, it will not affect their business. So, and right now there are more of the recovery plays in MYEG compared to the earlier 3 months, and therefore this is a good sign that we could hope for a breakout continuation pattern towards at least the 196 or even 2 ringgit level. So just bear in mind, moving into next year's election, this could be another round of whiplash, but it will still recover. So there are already some scenarios that change of government, it still can recover. Change of government, it still can recover. So what is your view here? So MYEG should be able to sustain, and that's why we have put in the one of the picks for today, MYEG. Okay, so just bear in mind, MYEG is quite solid in terms of their business model. They shouldn't be affected by this change of regime, okay, change of government. Okay, so that is the idea of MYEG behind it. And the other one is VST ECS. We know that this is a very, very stagnant or sideways counter. This is just due to under this COVID pandemic era, we are having more needs, or having more gadgets around us because of the needs, because of kids needs to go online schooling, they need iPad, they need more tablets and things like that. So this VST ECS is part of the retailing services for all these electronic gadgets. So they are also iPads distributor, and therefore we have put it in under under today's pick to hope for a good short-term recovery towards the 1 ringgit and 49 cents level. So this overall, it has managed to outperform a lot of times during the previous results reporting season. So early on, it's around 60 cents. It went up higher due to the results. And next one is around here. It also rallied after the results. Then people start to trade ahead of the results. Okay, people start to trade ahead of results. And later stage, it also rallied around this level here. So all this while, they have been, tagging along with very strong growth in terms of their results. So we also anticipated, we also think that last week's results are one of the good move, because after the results, it did not really fall that much. So we think that over the near term, it should continue to trend higher. Therefore, we are looking into next target at 1 ringgit and 50 cents level for this particular short-term trade, and support is around the 1 ringgit and 35 cents level. So this is just our ideas behind the tech counters. Then we have all these related stocks like Hong Seng. Hong Seng also did trigger us at the first part of the day when it broke last, I think, Friday's high. Then it started to trend higher, and it did went well. It gained us around 4.7% today, but it's still looking quite well because of this move of breakout of this short-term channel, or whatever you want to call this, short-term flag formation. And this is definitely a strong move, and we are anticipating this to continue higher, at least to retest 188, or if it is going higher, then the next target will be around the 2 ringgit zone. And the support will be located at today's low, which is around 1 ringgit and 71 cents level. Okay, so that is the whole idea with Hong Seng. There is no downside yet for downside in terms of the indicators wise. It is still positive, and we are still looking positive on for this catalyst, as they are tagging along with the so-called healthcare, so-called the vaccination. So we should be looking good on this counter. So moving on to next counter, Success. Success is part of building material segment, Success Transformer. They are related to electricity or electric consumption activities. If there are more of this, more of this infrastructure that will be developed by this new government, then we should be anticipating further upside for this Success Transformer. And bear in mind, early on they also have some sort of good results early on here, and also here. Therefore, it has continued to make good progress after the results. But right now, seems like people are anticipating a good results ahead. So that's why next week the result might be coming in, and we should be anticipating for the upside. So today it has triggered us a signal at above the 89.5 cents level, and we should be looking much stronger position towards the 94 cents, or even towards the 99 or 1 ringgit zone for Success Transformer. Okay, so this will be the outlook for Success Transformer, with the cut loss point near towards the EMA 5 level. Okay, so 88 cents is the cut loss point. So I think for those you have not shared out and this video, please like and share our video out to your friends, so that they can actually enjoy the weekly webinar highlights about the M+ wish list. Okay, so if we are having right now, we are near towards around 150 viewers. Hopefully that we can hit around 200 viewers, then we will start the Q&A section. If not, we'll just take 1 or 2 questions. But if we are heading towards 200 viewers or even 300 viewers, then we will take 5 to 10 questions. Okay, so take your chances right now to share out the video and make sure that we have more than 200 viewers, so that we can go along with the Q&A section with more questions, and that will benefit more people. And so that's how we are going for the next highlights. Okay, next highlight, we'll talk about Tiguan. And I noticed people have been asking about BP Plastic. So just now we have talked about BP Plastic because of the results is good, and let's review that first, because it is under our coverage, and we did mention this around I think around 170 or 180 level. And before that, we already secure some of the ideas behind it, and we think that this is a very strong sector under this COVID-19 pandemic scenario. People will use more of this plastics, and therefore after results, you can see the strong buying interest 136 towards 2 ringgit level. And recently, before the results, there are people still trading it, and right now after the result, it has gapped up towards 2 ringgit level. So what is the idea behind it? So the idea is average selling prices for plastics has been increasing due to high demand in terms of their resin and resin raw material costs, and that has provided the strong margins for them. Okay, so that has provided strong margins. How they sell the product so in such a high ASP is because right now the demand for plastic is certainly very huge, because everyone is using takeaway deliveries, and more gadgets has been in the market, and that is where they are in under the industrial related products as well. So Overall, we can see that since the last quarterly result, it was 9 million. Right now, it's 15 million. So moving forward, we should be anticipating similar results or stronger results based on the current view. Okay, based on current view, because everything is in high demand, the economy is restarting, and therefore we need more plastic. So that is just the narrative. So our fundamental point of view is that this should continue to charge higher towards the 3 ringgit level. So that is our ultimate, okay, our ultimate target, 3 ringgit and 6 cents to be specific. Right now, it has gapped up above the 2 ringgit zone. So if anything that's going to pull back towards this range of 180 towards 2 ringgit level, I think you can take a chance, okay? Take a chance to take a good ride according to this chart, because this is a higher high formation with some good volumes, and therefore we should be looking to breakout, pullback, and continuation pattern. So that is what we're going to anticipate for the next few quarters, to have a good pullback move and a good recovery, at least towards the 250 or even the 3 ringgit level. So that is our ultimate aim for this counter. Definitely is on an uptrend in intact position right now. So that is why we have put in T1. Okay, so T1 has just started, and bear in mind, T1 is also under the plastic related companies, their peers. So it is still considered as healthy, and it is just started. So hopefully that ahead of results, people will look for something similar to trade like BP Plastic. So next or this week or next week, when they release the results, should be positive, and this should be on a way up. And then you should be looking at around 2 ringgit and 79 cents as the first target, and the next target will be around the 3 ringgit zone. So I think risk could be quite limited, because you have to understand that the plastic industry is on a high demand, and BP Plastic has proven that even under this very dire situation, it is still continuing even higher for the time being. Okay, so the earnings should be quite solid. Okay, should be quite solid. Okay, last counter for under our daily picks. So we understand that the core of the economy is definitely shipping, transportation. So that's why when recovering activities is happening, the TN Logis or logistics companies should be able to trend higher. Okay, should be able to trend higher. So what is good about the current move is that Maybulk has been coming out with results, and some of the companies are anticipated to have good results as well. So TN Logis should be under this sector to benefit under this recovering team, and also under this essential items, essential services business model. So we can also understand that most of these vaccines are being distributed by either TN Logis or Pharma Niaga, and Pharma Niaga has made a very strong result, right? So which means that people are the idea is that Pharma Niaga is making results based on the vaccines, and those that are delivering the vaccines, such as TN Logis and also Tasco, they should be also benefiting out of this value chain. So in that sense, there is a breakout last Friday and continue to gap up today, and hopefully that this buy interest should sustain until next half of the session, and hopefully that can hit around 92 cents, or if not, around 95, and also 1 ringgit zone will be the next few targets that we are going to monitor. Okay, support will be located around the 87 cents level. Okay, so that will be our daily picks section. And what do we have? If you don't have anything to trade, what else you can actually trade on? You can actually monitor what we have here in our traders list. Our traders list has been, quite. If you don't have any, counters to trade, or if you don't have anything to trade on, you can actually look out for some of the counters under this segment. So you can look out that we have, IP Muda, we have Masterpack, we have My News being triggered, being triggered as one of the signal, and Pensoni even here, and Pastec also having some good signals here. So overall, I would say that as long as we have put in under our daily picks, and if the daily picks can sustain until over the next 5 days, if there is a signal coming out from this daily pick, I think it's worthwhile to look at, because we have been selecting stocks under within the segment, and during this week itself or over the next 5 days, the theme shouldn't change too much, such as today is tech counters, and also plantation, and also industrial products. Next week itself, it should be something similar. So what I want to say here is that those counters that we have picked and they have been popping up in our traders list is also considered as potential stocks. Okay, so for instance, just on Pastech, then Resintech as well. Resintech has been triggering around 1044, and so we believe that Resintech could be one of the stocks later that continue to trend higher. Okay, so yep. So make sure you are a sharer, and if you are a sharer under this video, and we will take your questions. Okay, so we will be now it's around 1, and we will take some questions that for those sharers. So if you have a sharer tag on top of your your questions, then we will be sharing. We will take your questions from that point. Okay, so for this question, JHM, because of the sharer, and we will review. Okay, review this chart here. So it has taken a pullback recently for JHM, and it has hit around this range and rebounded. But to be honest, right now it has something quite slightly negative, because it is pulling back below the EMA 20. What I am interested to look at this counter is when it is able to cross above the SMA EMA 20, which is at 2 ringgit and 17 cents. And if they can actually succeed to cross above this 2 ringgit and 17 cents, then it's very likely that it will continue to make a good move towards 233 or even 245 level. And support will be located near towards this 2 ringgit and 6 cents level. So this would be the range that we are going to monitor for fluctuations within this range, and then a breakout above 217. Then that would be a point that you might want to continue to trade towards 233 or 245 for JHM. So overall wise, if you take note of technology stocks, it is not too bad. Even after the pullback formation in previous 2 weeks, that was due to either the sentiment was not great because of the Chinese tech companies being regulated even more. And then secondly is about the political uncertainty in Malaysia. So that's why people are selling off the shares. But right now, after the new PM has been sworn in, this has rebounded. So you can take this as a good structure in terms of technology stocks. And that is telling us that we should be monitoring for technology counters from this point until next 2 weeks. It is very likely to continue higher towards the 100 index point for technology stocks. So I think based on this kind of movements, it has hit new high early on, pull back without significant retracement, and continue to stay above the EMA 20 and rebound above EMA 20. That is telling us that the tech counter is quite strong, relatively strong, and we should be heading towards the 100 level for mid to long term position. So just continue to mark my words on technology stocks. I think technology stocks has a real potential throughout the next at least 1 to 3 years or 5 years, due to the 5G, the IoT, and also high demand in terms of the EV cars. Okay, so technology stocks, and just now we have shared JHM. So just to briefly summarize JHM, we think that it has pulled back much further, and it has been hitting around this range. It is considered mildly negative, but short-term negative, mid-term should be positive. So what are the range that we are looking at? 217, 233, and 245. So these are the 3 range that we are going to monitor. If there's a breakout, then next target should be here, and support will be around 2 ringgit and 6 cents level for the time being. Okay, another sharer here. We have also we can also take your questions. It is JF Tech. Okay, JF Tech. So JF Tech has been making some pullback, but this is much positive compared to JHM because it is hovering above the EMA 20, and you can actually take note that the previous resistance is at this point, but right now it has been able to recover above this level here. So that is a sort of a positive tone, and this is you can take note this as a cup and handle pattern or whatever you want to call it. But I will take note of this range as a positive range for you to chase or even monitor for a stronger move from this point until 1 ringgit and 63 cents or even higher towards the 1 ringgit 82 cents level. So definitely this is making a good progress, breaking above this resistance zone, supported above this range 145 150, and then today it has a good sort of a short-term breakout. But if we take note of 30 minutes chart, it is a very healthy chart to be honest. And if we are able to capture, you want to capture the short-term one, short-term wave, this would be the range 150, 154. And then if there's a great good breakout above 153, I will take that as one of the good signs. But make sure that the volume is also picking up. Okay, make sure the volume is also picking up. Once there's a good breakout, the good volume picking up, I think short-term wise, you are able to see 164, 163 level as the next short-term immediate target that you can actually take note of. So I think this is one of a very good chart that you can monitor for the next half of the session. Okay, so I will take on another question. FP group is also by another sharer. So let's check again. Okay, so for this FP group, it's slightly into the negative position. As I mentioned earlier on, what I like to always see is that if there is a pullback, if there is a retracement phase, we should not see share price go below the moving average 50, and also try not to move too far off from the SMA or EMA 20. So this is telling you that the short term and mid term is on a slightly negative point of view. But where is the where can it start turning positive? It's when it is breaking above the 84 cents level. Then we should take note again on this FP group. So what are the potentials if they are if this is breaking above the 84 cents? Next target will be around in 92.5, and support is around 80 cents level. So overall, short-term negative, mid-term positive. The range that I'm looking at right now is 84 cents. Support is 80 cents. And if there's a breakout above 84 cents, then only we are more interested in this counter, and perhaps the first target 88 cents and second target will be around 92.5. Okay, so that will be some of the questions. And okay, so we will be ending very soon on for this session, because we are almost at the end of it's already past 1 p.m. So let me just summarize what we have discussed today. Is very important. So political risks, we can take it as already being brushed off. And why is that so? It's because the current new PM will hold on until the next election. And because there is no election, is able to start, or we are not able to get one election within near term, is because the COVID-19 pandemic. And if the COVID-19 pandemic continues to continue to stay, these confirmed cases continue to stay above the 15K or 20K over the next few months, or and therefore in short term wise we can't have an election. So that's why the current PM will stay on until the next election, which is maybe next year by July, and so that will give some stability towards the stock market. And today we have seen some of the positive sentiment in KLCI, and therefore we are going to see the recovery team to come back as well, because right now people are already talking about vaccination rate hitting above 50% in terms of the adult population, and that will bring us into recovery phase. So recovery phase, you can look into transportation and logistics, you can look into technology, you can look into other sectors as well, even construction, later stage. You can look into the industrial products. But bear in mind, right now, this week and also next week, people are only focusing on the result season, reporting season, and therefore that is more important at this point of time rather than the recovery team. Recovery team will definitely come in once the cabinet is formed, and by October or even November, when people say that herd immunity is reached, then we will see more recovery. So you can actually position some of your exposure in gaming or even the aviation side. Okay, so that is the whole idea about today's market and what I anticipated for what am I anticipating for this. So next week is as we have concluded right now. Okay, so that will be it for today's session. It's already 1:08, and I wish you all the best and stay safe at home and good luck in your trading. All the best. Thank you so much, and see you next week. Bye bye.